They tell us that ancient Greece was the source of light, but they borrowed the fire. Long before Athens spoke of logos, long before Plato spoke of forms, and centuries before Aristotle's logic, there were temples, shrines, voices, priests who taught in darkness what the world now claims as light. From Ile-Ife to Kemet, from Kush to the highlands of Ethiopia, the sacred flame passed, and the Greeks followed it. Plato, Pythagoras, and the pilgrimage of thieves. Plato said it himself. Solon was humbled by priests in Egypt, but Plato never credited the black priests of Ethiopia, the Yoruba custodians of cosmology, who passed the flame northward through mystery schools. Pythagoras, too, the so-called father of numbers, was trained for 22 years in Egypt, and as Massey notes, in Thebes, which was already ancient. As Professor Cheikh Anta Diop thundered, the Greeks were students. Their philosophy is the child of African systems. Who were these priests? They were Ifa diviners, Oloye and Omo Ifa, those who knew the Odu. They spoke not Greek but Odu Ifa, a system older than Delphi. Their temples were the shrines of Ile-Ife, and their curriculum was not speculation, but revelation. Hiob Ludolf's Historia, Ethiopica maps Ethiopian priesthoods south of Kemet. He shows a theological system deeply structured, mirroring Ifa. This wasn't Egypt alone. It was a constellation of black shrines stretching into what is now Nigeria, the secret that was buried. Why do we not know this? Because as Professor Sophie Oluwole reminded us, African philosophy was erased, renamed myth, or primitive belief, and replaced by the same Greek scholars who had been pupils in black temples. They burnt our shrines, stole our knowledge, and then accused us of having none. Homer was no stranger. And Homer, his gods are ours, his epics, reflections. He too wrote of priests in Ethiopia, the land of the blameless. The gods visited there. Why? Because it was sacred, because it was ancient, because the mystery schools began there. What was taught? The teachings of Oren, spirit plane, and I, material plane, reincarnation, cause and effect, Ise, divination and the binary logic of Odu, moral theology embedded in poetic structure. Professor Wanda Abimbola states clearly, Ifa is not superstition, it is the library of African thought. And Professor Bolaji Idowu, our theology is encoded in ritual, but it is no less rigorous than any Western system. Where's the evidence? In the admissions of Greek historians. Diodorus Siculus. The Ethiopians were the first to honor the gods. Strabo. The Ethiopians excelled in religion and philosophy. Herodotus. The names of nearly all gods came into Greece from Egypt. But they stopped short. They didn't say Ile-Ife. They didn't say Orunmila. They didn't want the world to know. The priests of Ile-Ife still speak. Today, Ifa priests across Nigeria, Cuba, Bahia, and Haiti still recite ancient verses whose structures mirror Greek meter, whose teachings mirror Greek ethics, but are older, more rooted, more comprehensive. Professor Kola Abimbola showed how Ifa predates Aristotelian logic and integrates logic, morality, psychology, cosmology, and medicine into a unified whole. So who was first? The world says Plato. We say Orunmila. The world says Delphi. We say Ife. The world says Logos. We say Esse. The world says mystery schools. We say Odu Ifa. Let the witnesses testify. Professor Wande Abimbola, Professor Bolaji Ido, Professor Sophie Oluwole, Professor Kola Abimbola, Cheikh Anta Diop, Hiob Ludolf, Diodorus Siculus, Strabo, Herodotus, Plato, and Pythagoras, students of Ethiopia, Orunmila, the Odu Ifa themselves. We swim in a great ocean of truth. and the mystery schools of Ile-Ife have never been silenced. All proofs are coming up in documentaries and books out of the ocean of evidence. Because Nigeria, the cradle of civilization, the real Ethiopia, remembers.